Where are you from?
I'm from Australia.
When did you come to Japan?
I came here on Friday last week.
What have you done in Japan so far?
I have been to Shibuya Crossing and I went to go to the Nezu Museum, but it was shut because they were changing the exhibitions. I have gone to Golden Gai last night. I have walked around Shinjuku, Shibuya. That's it so far.
That's nice. What brought you to Japan?
I wanted to come to Japan for a while. I was in a work trip in Singapore, and so I only had a week, and I thought Japan would be a perfect place to travel because it's not so far from there, a little bit closer than Australia, and because I think Japanese people are super cool. And they take a lot of care with everything they do, which is very different from Australia. So it's nice to see just a completely different culture. And I wanted a culture shock where they don't really speak English and have a completely different way.
Oh, I see. Has there been anything surprising to you in Japan?
Oh, yeah, many things. The toilets. The toilets are really cool. We don't have toilets like that in Australia. I feel like we're barbarians compared to just Japanese. I find it very clean, which that's not a surprise. I was expecting it to be clean. It feels very European in some parts, which is interesting. That surprised me. The architecture is different to what I expected. It's very easy to get around on the trains. I thought it would be really hard and confusing, but it's super efficient and super easy. Everyone is really friendly, but that's not a surprise. Yeah.
Did you buy any souvenirs for your friends?
I haven't bought anything yet. I was saving purchasing things for Kyoto because I wanted to buy something from traditional Japan. And I can't take back food with me. If I could give them the soba noodle, I would.
What other countries have you traveled to?
Well, I've been to 40 countries. I've been to Greece, Italy, Spain, England, and Germany, and Belgium, and Iceland, Denmark, Morocco, France, Singapore.
Other than Japan, which country was the best?
I love Greece. I think because it was the first place I ever traveled by myself and overseas, so I think it's sentimental. I love Greece because I think it's beautiful, so it's stunning natural landscapes, and I really like the culture there. I think their priorities are really interesting, so they really love good food, good conversation, and they have a kind of very laid-back way of looking at life, which I think is really special and hard to sort of have, but I think that their atmosphere makes it easy for them.
Do you have any interesting stories from your trips?
Let me think. I'm trying to think of the last trip I went on. It's been a long time since I've traveled. It's been 3 years since the pandemic that I've been overseas, so everything's a long time ago. I went overseas quite late in life for the first time. I went when I was 24, and I had been saving since I was 12. And so I went overseas for 4 months by myself, backpacking around, and I had the best time. I think traveling by yourself is a really nice thing because you get to really observe as opposed to being caught up in your own world. So most of the travel I really enjoy doing has been solo because you meet a lot of beautiful people. People come up to you like this here and say, do you want to chat with me or whatnot? So I like, because I've been traveling by myself, that's not a particular story. Yeah, and I now work for Airbnb, so lots of opportunity for travel with that as well.
Can you tell me about your experiences with culture shock in other countries?
Yeah, okay. Morocco was a culture shock. Just a completely different way of life, a different religion, different language. It's a bit more conservative there for women, so you have to cover up when you're traveling, and that was a shock for me as an Australian, you know, we're pretty casual. So that was interesting, and the food was so different, and the architecture so different. They have riads there, and completely different way of life, I think. It was interesting there because you don't see a lot of women on the streets in Morocco. It's usually men. Drinking coffee, smoking cigarettes, but not really many women around, which was very different to Australia.
If you had $1,000,000, what would you do with it?
I would, I think, invest in property. I never wanted to invest before. When I was younger, I didn't think, having a family or owning a home was very important. I just wanted to travel as much as I could. But now I'm 37, so I think it would be nice to own a home, but it's very expensive in Australia now. We have a housing crisis. It's hard to get into the market. So I think I would probably definitely invest in property for my future. This is 英会話。
実践的な英会話を短期間で効率よく身につけたい方は、いろんなアメリカ人の生の英会話を学ぶのが一番です。英会話教材 This is 英会話では、アメリカ人約150人の生の英会話を紹介しています。概要欄に紹介していますので、ぜひ見てください。それでは次回をお楽しみに。